G'day mate. Recently, I made a bold decision and leveled up my 75 attack pure to 80 attack, sacrificing 2 combat levels to unlock some of the best melee weapons in game. Now, let's see if it was worth it. The 3 big unlocks are the Scythe of Vitur as the best weapon for all sorts of bossing, the Soulreaper Axe is our highest hitting and fastest training weapon, and the Noxious Halberd is the best melee weapon in PvP. Not only do we get access to these major upgrades, we also unlock a bunch of utilities as well, so let's chuck everything into a tier list. Firstly, at 77 and 78 attack, we unlock the Emberlight and Dragon Hunter Lance, but these are entirely unusable on a pure since we don't have the defense to complete while Gothic sleeps and the Lance has no attack styles without defense experience, so they're an automatic F tier. At 80 attack, we also unlock the trio of one-handed 4-tick weapons for each attack style being the Blade, Rapier and Mace. Although without access to a decent offhand like the Defender, these don't quite keep up with the competition, but that could change if something like the Antler Guard ends up coming into the game. Our old max hits with the equivalent 75 attack weapons were a 40 slash with the Blessed Arrow Sword, a 39 on Crush with the Bludgeon, and a 37 poke with the Abbey Dagger. And our highest hitting weapon was the Elder Maul with a 53. Although I am only 92 strength and don't have the Infernal Cape and Altar Ring unlocked just yet, so you could add on about 5 damage to each weapon in absolute max. The Blade of Saldor is a fair upgrade from the Blessed Arrow Sword, but is well outclassed by the Scythe, Axe and Halberd for slash and requires Song of the Elves as well as charging with Crystal Shards, making it pretty inefficient. I don't have access to it yet, and you'll never really use it anyway, so that's going in E tier. The Inquisitor's Mace is a decent upgrade from the Bludgeon, giving us a max hit of 41, which is the same for both the Blade and Rapier. It has a lot more crush accuracy compared to the Scythe and Soulreaper on crush, but without access to the Inquisitor's set, it will have a fair bit less damage potential. It's viable when crush accuracy is important at places like Tecton or Nightmare, but not really worth its price tag. I reckon B tier is fair. However, the Grazi Rapier does stand out as our new best in slot stab weapon. A solid upgrade from the Abyssal Dagger in a few places like Nex, Vassar or TOA, pretty niche but not terribly expensive, and it's something I'll actually use when bossing. A solid A tier. We also unlock the ability to upgrade our Keris Partisan with the gems from TOA, but they're only really relevant to TOA and need to be farmed first, so not a big deal unless that's something you plan on camping, and in that case I'd just go to 82 attack with a bang anyway. Not really my thing, so that shit's going in D tier. And lastly, we unlock this cheeky little boy, the Tecu Salamander. This thing can spit flames in each combat style with a max hit of 27 with ranged at a 4-tick attack speed, a 41 with a 5-tick melee attack, and a 33 with magic, also at 5-tick. Melee is definitely the strongest when carried by the rest of our gear, but the damage still isn't anything crazy, though there are a few interesting ways to use it, particularly in the wilderness. I've never really used this thing before, so we had to give it a go. Off to the Rev Caves, we'll be starting off with a D-Simi tech to lock our targets down for a full 5 minutes. We've also got a Tome of Water for a boost to our entangle accuracy. Now we just keep on firing away with the Salamander, and the beauty of this thing is that our targets don't have a clue what to protect from. We start off strong with a 28 into a 32, but the damage falls off pretty quickly. Our first target made it out and into multi, so we decided to go a little deeper into the caves. We jump on a level 75 with a Web Weaver and start working away before dropping their prayer and catching our TB. They've got no way out, but they decide to head north. They might be trying to make it out to the northeast multi-area, but they only make it to the Revenant Knights before we take them out. 500 damage in about 2.5 minutes, that's better than I expected. And that's an easy 500k. Next up, we catch a level 62. They've put up Protect melee, so let's test out the ranged attack. We get a few back-to-back max hits, but there's not really any KO potential. They go for the gap, but we've come prepared with some Summer Pies to keep up with them. Our hits are absolutely on fire this kill, and you wouldn't believe it, but we somehow ended up managing to get the smite. If only they were Scold. Might as well go for another kill. We op worlds and catch a level 83 with the Chain Mace, and they let us catch a full TB. They go for a run, but don't get too far. They're not too happy, but they're not doing a whole lot about it. They sit there eating all of their food before flopping onto the ground. We went for a third kill, but our next target was a little more willing to fight back. With only 4 doses of Restore to work with, we ended up running out of prayer while brewed down, so we had to bail out. But a 2-kill trip for over 1.5 mil, not bad at all. One last attempt, we go for a level 99 and get the full TB. We have a little bit of a battle before they whipped out their bulwark, and at this point it was pretty much over. They went for the run south and ended up tanking the full 5 minutes before calling us a noob and strolling back into Ferox. A fun weapon, but definitely not enough DPS to stop the local Vennies from jar-jarring at us. So the final verdict on the Tecu Salamander: is it easy to use? Yes. Is it good? No, not really. It's going in C tier. Now on to the big boys. We all know the Scythe is going straight to S tier, being the best melee weapon in game against most bosses, but to find out how good it really is, we had to go kill some shit. Off to the Theatre of Blood, we'll be running through a solo easy mode for a quick speed test. Firstly, we had to set the standard using the old best in slot being the Blessed Arrow Sword. We got a time of 23 minutes and 23 seconds, now time to see how the Scythe goes. 39 seconds quicker on Maiden, 37 seconds quicker on Bloat, we went from a 4 down to an easy 3 down, 12 seconds quicker on the Big Nilo, 23 seconds quicker on the Big Dog, 48 seconds quicker on Zarpus, and 2 minutes and 41 seconds quicker on Verzik, giving us a better time by 5 minutes and 21 seconds overall. Yeah, the Scythe is pretty good. Now for the Soulreaper Axe. A close second to the Scythe against bosses, but on smaller enemies like Slayer monsters, this thing really stands out. Its special effect stacks up a damage boost at the cost of some health, but at 5 stacks it maxes out, giving us a max hit of 58 at a 5-tick attack speed and a 61 when draining the stacks with its inbuilt spec. It's a great weapon to use wherever we can keep whacking away with melee and will be the weapon of choice for finishing off my strength training. At the Nightmare Zone we get about 110k XP an hour, a good 10% better than the 100k we were getting with the Blessed Arrow Sword. Pretty decent, however PVM isn't the only thing it's used for. While it is a bit of a liability, especially at low prayer, if we can get this thing going it can be absolutely overpowered in PvP. Our first target was a level 65 Skald with a Web Weaver. We locked them down before throwing up our smite and line up a chance right off the bat. A little unfair, but we keep on tearing through them. We catch another freeze and pop a TB, but a couple more outlaterals into an axe and it was all over. The G-Maul to make sure, but it didn't even register. No smite but a quick 1.1 mil. Next up, we catch a level 76, another quick beatdown, we get a couple of chances and a few big hits in before hitting them with a G-Maul into a 48 bonk for the KO. 900k. Next up, we found a Pure that was keen to put up a fight, we catch a freeze on each other and get into it. We mess up our inventory but get ourselves set before catching the next freeze. We hug the rocks before coming in with the axe, then combo them out with a 26-26 G-Maul. 2 mil, not bad. This thing is pretty good against low defense, but let's see what happens when we take on something a bit tankier. We found a level 102 auto-praying bot, perfect target. It's normally a struggle to kill these things, but we trick it into a full TB and get to work. We keep on 1-tick flicking into our axe to keep on whacking them off prayer and end up knocking them out with a big 53 into a 56. We're not getting kills like that without 80 attack. Another 2 mil into the bank. Final thoughts on the Soulreaper Axe: it's super strong in just about any situation, the only drawback being the HP drain at the start of the battle. So while it's great for PvM, I wouldn't take it into any serious PvP fights. But if you just want to beat up on some poor souls, then the Soulreaper Axe is insanely good. I'm putting it in A tier. And last but definitely not least, the Noxious Halberd. A very unique weapon. Like all halberds, it has a 2-tile attack range, allowing us to hit from a distance with melee, making for some niche use cases in PvM, but with a faster 5-tick attack speed and a strength bonus of 142, it's a solid weapon in any case. But when taken out into the wilderness, this thing is in a tier of its own. The 2-tile attack range adds a whole new dimension to our melee attacks, which is a massive advantage and a great counter to a DD, and while the two main perks of a 75 attack pure are access to the Toxic Staff of Venom and the AGS and Elder Maul for their KO potential, the Hallie's not only got all that covered, it's also got the attack speed to keep the momentum going. The first fight I had with the Halberd, we potted up and went out from Ferox, and it looks like someone had their eye on us as they followed us out. We offered to fight but didn't even have to skull. Say less, let's get into it. We lined them up with a nut lateral into a double G-Maul, then get a big chance in with the Hallie but didn't get the RNG, but we keep chipping away, hitting them with the out lateral into the Hallie, and the damage ends up coming through as we stack a 25 into a 30 for a quick KO. Only 400k loot, but a nice little warm up. Back at it, we logged into a level 94 running north, we chase after them and get into the fight. We get them down low and go in for the quick KO, but no luck this time. We keep working away while they're still trying to catch their TB. We catch another freeze, then catch them on low HP as we hit a 40 Halley into a 25 Maul, then switch back to the Halley for a 37 to finish them off. Another 400k, Halberd good, loot bad. Next up, we logged into another PKer while they were beating down on a PVMer. Looks like they're struggling as the PVMer goes for the agility escape. We take the bet that they'll get away and called it correct as we caught the PKer running south. We throw on our smite and quickly take control as we turn things around on them. Not a whole lot of fight, they go for the run south but we catch them again. We get them down to low HP, then go in with the G-Maul as their prayer gets dropped and the Halley comes through with the finisher. And that's a cheeky Scepter Smite. We then found another fight against a Pura at the same combat level. It starts off pretty even as we fight from a distance, but as we're unfrozen we take our chance to go in with the G-Maul into the Halley. Low hits with the Maul but a 41 from the Halley, could have been it but it's not over yet. We keep working away, keeping them under pressure as we get another chance in with a 34 Surge into a 34 Halley. We catch a freeze on each other a tile apart and we take advantage with a few Halley whacks. As we're unfrozen they come in with the DDS but we see it coming. They whip out a Void Waker but we get a gap to avoid it before catching them with another freeze. We throw on our smite while we've got them on the ropes, a couple outlaterals into a swipe and we wipe them out. 8 mil loot, we'll take that. So what do I rate the Noxious Halberd on a 1 defense pure? For how much of a game changer it is in both PVM and PvP, this thing is going straight into S tier. But is it worth leveling a pure to 80 attack? Well, if you're interested in PVM, then I'd say absolutely. Even compared to 75 attack, the DPS increase from the Scythe and Soulreaper is insane and you can't complain about the other upgrades like the Rapier. In PvP, the Halberd hits hard whether our opponent has defense or not while creating a whole new meta around playing at the right distance. However, if you've got a specialized build for Bounty Hunter, fair enough, you might still want to stay at 50 or 60 attack for a lower combat level, but if you're on a max pure and PK in the wilderness, I'd go as far to say as the 75 attack pure is a thing of the past and the 80 attack is where it's at. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content and leave a comment if you think I'm an idiot. Thanks for watching, I'll catch you next time. Peace.